Okay, I'd like to call to order the Town of Niskayuna Conservation Advisory Council meeting. This is the February 5th, 2025 meeting. And Laura, could you please call the order?
So online we have Joy Wang, and in the room tonight we have Alan Daviero, Ashok Ramasubramanian, and Chairman Darkshayer.
Okay, great, thanks. So we have the minutes of January 8th, 2025. Does anybody have any comments or corrections they'd like to see to that?
I had one. Sorry, I had one comment, please. So in the page where my statement is mentioned, I'd like a small inclusion stating that I was expressing resident preferences based on some surveys as part of the comprehensive planning purposes when I mentioned that green space should be preserved. I don't know how to word. I can suggest some wording if you like.
I'm trying to bring up my packet, but I don't know, my computer broke.
Do you know where that was?
Yeah, I can't. I can't. For some reason, I'm also having trouble opening the PDF.
Broke my computer.
You mean the part where you said public comment? So that was line 167. Ask if there are any public comment made.
No. This is regarding the. Oh God, sorry, I'm blanking.
Yes. The house.
The new proposed development that is under planning board review or town board review for permissions or something like that.
I'm gonna load it on my phone.
It is in the beginning. It's in the very beginning. All right.
Oh, it's 43, I think.
I'm trying to load it on my phone.
Yeah. You noted the importance of maintaining green space for the rest of the town, and noted his concern that this development would violate the rules of the comprehensive plan, and that he would like to see an opportunity for public comment to residents regarding the development.
Oh, so instead of rules, maybe we could say it would violate the.
Noted the resident concerns as stated in the comprehensive plan survey. Because that's really where I was coming from, the concern of the residents.
So it's line 43 through 14.
And really, my issue is only with 43 and 44.
Yeah. Okay. So we can just modify that to say Mr. Ramasubramanian noted the importance of maintaining green space to the residents of the town
As expressed in the comprehensive
2025 comprehensive plan survey.
Yeah, that's all.
And we could say, and he's concerned that this development would, not be in harmony with.
Yeah, but that's good clarity because.
I mean,
I'd like to mention the survey.
Mhm. That's fine.
I mean, I guess I understood what you were saying. So on line 111, it just says chances, and I think changes.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was all that I found. But I abstained from.
Well, then we don't. Then
we're not going to vote on it. That's okay. We can pick it up. No,
Yeah, then we'll
we'll
just
pick it up
bring 'em
next
back
meeting. It's not a
So
big
I'll
deal.
make the changes to line 43 and 44, and then you can actually read them before you vote on them.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's not a big deal.
I don't feel like I should do that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's completely fine.
That's perfectly fine. Good.
I mean, I agree with everything that
I had one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can line 205 be struck?
Yeah.
It's
Definitely get it to go.
I don't think that level of detail is needed.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
I
with you.
actually thought I had taken that out. Yeah. I'm just going to say Miss Robertson stated due to the time, or requested due to the time that the climate task force meeting be adjourned until the next meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's fine. But
Okay.
I thought I would remove that, but maybe I was trying to figure out what to do with it, and then I never went back to it. That's not something that's normally in the minutes.
Joy, do you have anything you want to add, or
No, I'm good. Yeah.
you're good? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's,
oh, one more point, Chairman Strayer. So the memo, somewhere we should say that the CAC also had a carbon copy of the memo to the planning board.
and I don't know, Laura, how we memorialize the memo. Can we attach it to these minutes, the final one?
We can. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, if it so please the board.
Yes.
Okay. So let's do that.
Okay, and then I'll go back and somewhere in the range of like line 199 to 203.
Yeah.
Find when we said that we wanted the planning board carbon copied.
Mhm. Ashok, any?
No further changes.
All right. Do we have anybody online that would like to speak to us?
Nope, there's no one else online besides Joy.
Yes, me.
Okay, let's move on to the environmental assessment referrals. First item we're looking at is EAF 2025-02. It's a 2-lot subdivision at 929 Pierce Road. The applicant has been before this board previously. The applicant now has a new subdivision proposal, which is in our packet, essentially subdividing the lot into 2 lots. That subdivision does require a variance, an area variance, because it does not meet the 100-foot frontage requirement. So Laura is going to show us the map.
Yeah, so sorry, I was struggling with my computer again. Did you mention that in the previous plan this was a flag lot with the house behind?
No, I did not, but
Okay.
that's a good thing. That's a good thing to point out. And there currently still is a house on there, but this proposal would remove the existing house and put 2 houses on the lot.
Yeah, so I think in the agenda statement, the concerns the CAC had originally, this lot was smaller than any we'd seen get subdivided into the flag lot. It was separated from all of the other flag lots. There's drainage concerns in the area. There's kind of always issues with the house being behind the other house, other than the front yard of one house is the backyard of the other house. So I think sketch plan wise, both the CAC and the planning board were really not in favor of the flag lot, which I think I put the old one in.
It's in there.
Yeah. This one, it does take care of that issue. It's still, there's the flag lot one that got abandoned. They did try to pick up some land to the bottom of that drawing to try and make the not need any area variances for the subdivision, but they weren't able to get it. So each one of those lots that they're proposing now needs 5-foot area variances. It is still a relatively small lot on Pierce Road to be subdivided. The flag lot issue is gone, but there is no right as of right subdivision there because it does not have enough frontage. It's 10 feet shy of frontage, so when you divide it, then each lot needs 5 feet.
And one of the concerns that this committee had was what was the impact? A lot of the lots in the area have fairly large frontages as well. And I think, Laura, there's a study that was done that looks at the frontages in the table included with our packet.
Yeah.
I think these were the ones that were subdivided, right?
Yeah, so the table shows that the colored map shows the
Mm-hmm.
lots that have been subdivided on Pierce Road. They're called spaghetti lots in the comprehensive plan because they're long and thin. So you can get a sense of how different 929 looked compared to the other colors, and then those colors actually match this table. So the original frontage of all the other ones, 295, 150, 217, 216, 425. And then, like said before, this is actually the smallest lot, 1.5 acres compared to any of the other ones that have been subdivided. That statistic does not go away, even though it's not a flag lot anymore. I do think this configuration is better.
How big are the frontages on the adjacent properties?
Those aren't labeled. It's a question that we could ask. Joy, I'm just going to mute you because I'm getting a little feedback for some reason.
Okay.
She muted herself. Yeah, I think they're probably 100 in the area of 100, but they're not marked, so that'd be something that we could look.
Mhm.
It's not substantially different, like because you can see that this line is almost parallel with this line.
Yep.
This line is just a little bit longer there. It's probably 100 feet.
And for Trottingham Drive, those are all minimum 100 feet?
Yeah, Trottingham Drive is a more recent subdivision, so those are definitely all going to be 100 feet. 'Cause
So all the subdivisions around it are at least 100 feet?
yeah, R1 zoning after the 1970s pretty consistently 100 feet across. Pierce Road lots are quite different because they did not have regular subdivisions. They evolved much earlier. It's an older road,
Mhm.
and so that's why they're kind of a hodgepodge of sizes.
And just for clarity, we don't have a full EAF tonight, so we don't have to make a decision, but our recommendation would go to the ZBA, right? 'Cause
ZBA
there's-
and planning board.
And planning board.
I feel like you could probably do both at the
Mhm.
same time.
Does anybody have any questions for Laura at all? Or
Any comments?
comments?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you highlighted boldface, the 55.2. So that's under 100 feet. Does that no longer meet the R1 requirement?
Right. It has 190 feet right now, which is compliant with the zoning. If you divide it,
Oh, you mean the total has to be 100 feet? Oh,
well, the total right now is 190, so that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're to divide it, each lot is supposed to have 100 feet on its own. So the
Mhm.
total, if it was to comply with zoning, it would have to have 200 feet of frontage.
okay.
So each one of these lots, it has an asterisk next to the 95 because each one of these lots is short by 5 feet of what is needed for a true, like sort of as of right subdivision.
So does that mean they cannot be divided, or are we finding a way, or are they finding a way to go forward?
So it means per the code, they get an immediate denial from my office. They're not allowed by me or by the planning board to just subdivide. They can't, not allowed. They do have the right to go to the zoning board and say, I have a unique circumstance here. I am, unjustly burdened by this code, and I would like relief, and I would like to be allowed to have 95-foot wide lots instead of 100 feet. If the zoning board says, we agree with you, yeah, you can have your variance, then they come back and they do have that legal right to have the 95 feet. And then we work through it like a regular subdivision.
So another question I think would be interesting is to look at the frontage of the lots on Pierce.
Mhm.
And see how many can be subdivided with 100-foot
With compliant zoning
compliance, and
compliant
then see if we didn't have compliant lots. And I'm not talking about flag lots, but if we had similar situations, 95 feet, 90 feet, how many more houses would there be in the area?
Yeah, we can bring that. So I did get, sorry, I did get the EAF, just not in time to put it in the packet. So I already have that for you guys for next month, and I can get the frontages for next month too.
Mhm.
Public comments we've got are concerns about drainage. So we already had the engineer update the plan looking at grading lines and potential areas where they would be able to capture the stormwater, because we know it's a very drainage challenged area. The town has actually gotten into a lawsuit about well, it wasn't a lawsuit, but it was almost a lawsuit about the drainage in that area. So we know it's very drainage sensitive too. So we've already hired an engineer, even though it's just sketch plan, just to make sure that the drainage is possible.
Right, in the back there, I thought there was some concern about wetlands.
On this, the other one has the wetlands in the back. This one has, like, when you see this, I want to share my screen again. When you see this line right here, the sort of the line that's coming down into the middle of the lot here, that where it says proposed trees, through there is like a natural drainage that ends up in some people's yards closer to
Brookdale.
something. So the concern is that can't take any more drainage, and
Brookshire.
yeah, Berkshire, yeah. So the the code says that you can't make any drainage situation worse, and it's already a bad drainage situation, so they would have to really look at how they can make it better, retain the water on site.
So I have to say, this is the first time that we come across somebody tearing down a home. And since I've been on the CAC, that somebody is taking down a home to build 2 more homes like that. We've had people take down barns, and we've had people take down garages. We've never actually had somebody come before us asking to take down a home. And do we include that in our? Do we include that in like our environmental assessment of how? I mean, taking down a home, you have destruction. You have to dispose of it. This is a little bit more than just putting in new AC and adding addition on or something like this. So. Is that something that we are going to consider within our parameters, or is that just a byproduct of somebody owning the land and they can do what they'd like on it?
I think the one thing that we can look at, because I'm sure the house is over 40 years old. Is that true? 49 years?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
So there would have to be a review of the historic value of that home. And that we have an ordinance in there, but
Okay.
beyond that, as long as they take it down safely and
Okay. I'm just curious.
appropriately.
I think when you're going through the questions,
Yeah.
you can look at, I mean, maybe I don't have them memorized, but like the energy efficiency, I mean, area, it can't be energy efficient to remove a house and put up 2 new more, I mean, like, just based on and I don't know.
I don't know. It was just a question that came to my mind
Yeah.
when I was looking at this, because since I've been a member of the CAC for a couple of years, and I don't recall ever having a house that we were taking down.
Mhm.
We've had other things, so it was just.
I don't recall ever seeing a subdivision plan where the subdivision line goes directly through a house that's already sitting on the lot.
I think the issue here, though, thinking about it more, and we don't have the elevations of these houses, so we don't know. But I mean, an argument about the character of the neighborhood would be an
Right.
appropriate
Okay. Yeah.
approach.
Okay.
Question. But like ultimately though, the developer is asking for a variance and they would need to show hardship,
Right.
not self-imposed hardship, but
So is this a house that they own, they've been living in and they just decided, or they bought to do this too? Okay.
This, I believe, is a house that they bought to do this too.
Okay, it's not like they have an elderly set of parents and they want to build a house next door and they want to.
No, because this is the same subdivider that subdivided down the road on Pierce Road, and I believe that he lives in that house that he built, and that his family lives next door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, I was just curious. 'Cause
Yeah.
Sometimes, all right.
I think, like, to Chairman Strayer's point of looking at, like, if the precedence is taking down a house to squeeze in 2 more lots, how many more lots could that be? And is that really a treatment that we want to see start to happen on Pierce Road?
Yeah. That's
Because
exactly.
this is better than a flag lot, but it is actually now different. And
How many more
would
do
there be, like, a speculative reason then to start buying up the older houses on Pierce Road, so that you can split the lot and build 2 new houses and theoretically make money on that?
Right, because that's 9/11, right? That when the picture that you have that you sent us.
Right.
Carl, maybe 835. Oh no, what's the one below 834?
Oh, you mean the old subdivision? It's like it's in the 7.
Yeah, page 16 shows.
Oh, do I?
Page 16 of this shows pictures of, so that's 876,
Yeah, it's actually even lower than that. No.
888.
Are you asking where the other subdivision is that he?
Well, no, I'm
did?
just saying these all look like lots that could be.
oh,
Yeah.
further subdivided.
Further
So-
subdivided based just on looking by size.
Yes, 888, 876, 900, 902. Those are the more traditional spaghetti lots, which
Mhm.
something that would resemble like 862, 868. It's kind of a rare time when maybe you can fit a lot, because they're still both like 3 acres. Those are like 6-acre parcels.
What?
They're like enormous. The 876, 888, 900, 902. Those are big parcels. And underneath 834 is also a pretty big parcel.
Yeah. Yeah. So seems like those are the ones that are left. So okay.
So do you want me to send a comment to the planning board that
I would
there's
say,
just a
yeah, because
concern
it looks
about-
it looks like there's at least 5 more parcels that this could happen, potentially happen to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
possibly taking down a
think-
house
I
that's
think
in
the
the middle,
concern is setting a precedent that could,
taking down the house and putting
taking down houses and starting to put additional houses in, and what that might look like down the road, the character of the neighborhood.
Not just the character of the neighborhood, but potentially the character of the town itself, right?
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, because I think once you start granting stuff like this, it becomes hard to stop, right?
yes, this is like, to Ellen's point. We've seen some of the flag lots on lands that had a lot more acres than this, but this is the first time we're really seeing like a home to be removed in order to put up 2 more.
yeah. In lot, the 929 butts up to the back of 2476.
2476 Whitehall Court. That house actually has the driveway on Whitehall Court.
Right. And
Yeah.
they have a lot of land around them. It looks like, do they own that all the way back?
Yeah, that is one single parcel.
That's a big piece of land.
Yeah.
And then and then, so at 911, so who owns between 911 and 929?
So this is an old map.
Okay.
That was the thing that was confusing when this was originally subdivided, but 911 actually owns that small strip and has combined them.
Okay,
So when you look at a newer GIS map, it shows 911 as being an entire parcel that goes and directly abuts 929.
okay, so I mean, that's another property that could potentially have this same,
Mhm.
okay,
It could, and just like 929, that basically the house on 911 is right in the middle of the lot.
right. Okay,
Yeah, you can actually see the drainage kind of issue. It goes right down this line.
all right.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, hearing none, I recommend we move on. So the next EAF is 2339 Troy Schenectady Road. This is EAF 2024-04. And is that correct, Laura?
03.
I thought this was on Balltown.
2727 Balltown Road. Oh, maybe the agenda statement's wrong.
Hmm?
I thought it was
In our
Mohawk Avenue.
packet, we have Balltown, two lot subdivision, 2727 Balltown Road.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's actually EAF 2025-03. It's
Yeah.
a 2-lot subdivision on Balltown Road. It is right near the Aqueduct Vet that was converted to the apartments. It's, I believe, north of that. Is that correct, Laura?
Yep.
North of that. So the applicant would like to take an existing lot, which is triangular in shape, and divided into 2 lots. The smaller lot having frontage of 80 feet. However, this is RP, so that is permitted in this particular situation. And I think the issue at hand is there's no variances that are needed for this particular applicant, but the town does discourage triangular lots and odd-shaped lots, which this would generate.
Yeah, I just took just so you can get a sense of that. This is the existing house on that parcel,
Yeah.
like to the north. And then this is, you guys worked
Yeah.
on this quite hard. This is the
Yeah.
vet that got
Mhm.
transitioned into a apartment building. So we're really talking about this space in between that. The parking lot that you see on the subdivision plan where the parking spaces are marked is this right here. So you're looking at between the edges of these cars in this house.
Mhm.
So the person that owned the apartment complex, because they tried to build another piece of something on their property, did they then go and just sell that piece?
No, they were actually trying to buy this piece, but the owner of that house didn't sell it to him.
But it sold it to somebody else?
So originally, when it was a vet, this house here, this tan house,
Yes.
was owned by the vet.
Oh, okay.
The owner actually of the vet before Dr. Pike, I
Okay.
can't remember what his name was.
Okay,
He lived in that house and he would just walk to work.
right,
But when he sold the business to Dr. Pike,
okay.
he sold the house. He kept this house himself.
Oh, okay,
And so, like, the business and the house didn't go together.
okay,
Then, when Dr. Pike sold the business to Alex Ritmo,
okay,
this house was actually sold to Mr. Singh. So, the owners of these two houses, ever since it was one owner, it's gone divergent paths of multiple sellings.
okay,
When Mr. Ritmo was trying to create apartment complex, the planning board and I think the CAC asked him if he could get this land from Mr. Singh, but Mr. Singh wasn't interested in selling it.
okay. So Mr. Singh owns the Brown house and then that parcel, so
Yeah.
he's technically building another home right next to him between him and the apartment complex.
Yeah,
And I might add, when the applicant came back for putting additional apartments in,
Right,
there was a question of whether he had segmented his project out. he was looking to build additional apartments,
Mhm.
and that was not part of the original
Right, yeah.
plan.
Use
Right.
variance, because he received a use variance.
Yeah.
It'd be very difficult for him to get another use variance for more apartment units at this point.
Right, yeah, no, I do remember that. Yeah. I don't know if he was, yeah,
Yeah, but he did discuss trying to take this land over. He just
Yeah, I did.
never got it.
okay, okay.
That's
And-
probably why it's familiar to you.
So, and then I guess my, so they don't need a variance then for the size of that lot, it's just that it's odd shaped, so do they need a variance to be odd shaped?
No. It's just something that we point out because it's something that we strive for. It's not a requirement. It's something that we try to make happen.
Okay. And it's a single family home?
It's a single family home. It is zoned residential professional, but if you look at the table, it couldn't support any commercial uses because the minimum lot size for a commercial use in an RP zone is like 2 acres, I think. So the only use that it could be once you subdivide it would be a single family home.
Okay.
Or theoretically, you could sell it and combine it to the
Okay.
multifamily. But the multifamily use is not allowed in an RP zone. That's why they got a use variance.
Okay.
So this is another situation where we actually don't have the EAF. So we have to wait till the EAF is
Yeah, and
received before
This
we
one, I had a question on the wetlands because
Yep.
they are in proximity of the subdivision, and I
Mhm.
didn't know how that would impact it. I did get a revised map, just not in time to put it in this packet, where he even put a 100-foot buffer on that wetland.
Okay.
It does look like there's still plenty of room to put the house there.
Okay.
So there's still some things to check because both of these are in sketch plan, but this one I think is in some ways nice because they're not removing a huge chunk of forest to do this. So I'm sure there's some benefit because sometimes they let that long there get long, which is good habitat, but it's not going to be like a massive disturbance
No, but it is another piece of green space.
going.
But
But the homes along Balltown Road tend to be affordable. We could certainly ask, but it would be unlikely that we would see like a McMansion here. It may be one of adding a more affordable home unit in this unit too.
yeah, I mean,
although the footage is quite large.
The frontage.
Mhm.
Yeah. But even so, I think because Belltown Road is difficult to get in and out of, and it's a heavy, the homes on Belltown Road tend to be tend to be closer to the $200,000 range, where like once you get inside, it's more like maybe 230.
Mm.
maybe they'll put a half circular driveway too. So.
Yeah, so you can get in and out because at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Much better though that now that they have the circle down there. So,
Mhm.
but okay.
Okay.
Good.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
On the map, no, the map on the packet. Can you point out the triangle shape
Oh.
on the map for the lot?
Yeah, I'll share my screen again. So it's actually starting off as a triangle shape,
Mhm.
and you're making one of the lots more regular, and then one of the lots becomes more. It becomes.
Are they?
probably
The
so.
question I have is, are they similar triangles?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the original lot. I don't know if you can see my.
Yeah, I can
You
see.
can. Okay. Is this triangle? That's the original lot. And then they're proposing to make this lot here, which already has a house and is compliant. And then they would make this a triangle lot right here. You just follow this line up and then come back down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So it is an unusual shaped lot. It would be nicer if they could somehow square this off and make, this sort of beyond the parking spot would be the yard of that house,
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're leaving a lot of room for
but they don't own it, so
Mhm.
that's the problem there.
a lot of, yeah. Okay.
So EAFs to come next month. Probably we'll need a recommendation next month based on timeline, and I'll pass on that one comment about the 929 Pierce Road.
Okay, moving on, let's move to the Climate Smart Community Task Force section of our meeting. So let's talk about the greenhouse gas inventory. Where do we stand on that?
I met with Jim Yenger maybe 2 weeks ago, and we're getting back on track with 2025 to finish up the community greenhouse gas inventory. And he's actually started the climate action plan. So I think we'll see, we picked a date for submittal. So we should probably be seeing quite a bit of movement by next meeting on that.
So,
And we can comment on that, right?
Yeah, it'll come to you exactly the way the government greenhouse
Okay.
gas emission inventory came, which I think you guys made better.
so I had asked for a data point on
Yeah, I'll
the,
ask him again. I have asked him
okay,
the greenhouse gas emissions that are offset by LOMO.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like if you stop using those huge lawnmower machines for a certain acre, then how much greenhouse gas emissions you get, and then how much money you save. Like, yeah, I remember him saying like those amounts are findable.
He did.
Mm.
And I actually even brought that up to him in the last meeting because I knew it was outstanding because it's been in the minutes a couple times. And he's like, oh, yeah, I can get that to you.
So
Okay.
it should actually
Pretty
get,
good.
it should actually get better this year because part of the LOMO project is on the cap. And so when I went to the, so one of the things that I wanted to do and is that I met up with the disc golf person who designed the course and got an aerial view of the disc golf course. So, and he is working with Ray, and now they have specific lawnmowers now that they have purchased that can just mow the straightaways to make it they'll make them a little wider, and then we are also going to work on because the Niskayuna's disc golf is not getting used because it is not as much as others because one, it's a little bit older. The thing that makes Niskayuna's different than everybody else's is that you're not going around trees or anything, but you are fighting the wind, and that is what makes it unique. But there's a whole app that rates disc golf. So the idea is that the two of them are going to work together. We're going to meet and just get the map so that they know which way to mow, because some of the fairways they knew exactly where they were, but then it was kind of a little, so there was extra mowing involved. So they'll do their one mow and then they're going to mow just the pathways, which was originally what we thought, but but sometimes it gets a little confusing based on that. And then we're also going to have like a work party. There is a disc golf tournament in Niskayuna in March, and a lot of people come to do it. And prior to that, we will work on improving some of the disc golf holes. So
Does the town get any revenue from the disc golf?
tournament,
Yeah.
just from people coming into town and doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it is just just like other disc golfs. They have tournaments all over. So this is just one that comes here. Yeah.
Okay.
It would be nice though if we can make it better, and improve these
Mhm.
The disc golf
holes and the variances, because there are places where it gets very wet and stuff. Anyways, we worked through a lot of the problems at this, at a meeting with the parks. And then we're going to see if we can work on some of those this year and then maybe again next year, and then that should be done. And we want to raise the number of people that are using it
Mhm.
so that it gets a little bit more use.
That's very nice.
So
And
yeah,
then that's the area where the bobolinks come, right?
yeah. So there is the around it.
Around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still plenty, I believe there's still plenty of room for the bobolinks, but this requires just like certain paths.
Mhm.
Because I did ask about, do we need to move them off of, the disc golf off of the cap completely, but there's really no place else to put it. And we talked about where else it could go, but
As long as the mowing is clearly defined, there's plenty of room for the bobolinks.
yes. Yeah. So that's my goal for this year. So anyways, that's that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, natural resource inventory. Do you have any updates?
Well, phase 2 is complete.
I saw the report. It was
Yeah.
good.
The report is done, and I took some time over the weekend to weave the recommendations from the report into the comprehensive plan chapter.
Good.
So if phase 2 is complete, we should probably vote to make a recommendation to adopt, for the town board to adopt it. So I'll put the complete inventory in our packet for next month.
Okay.
And then as an action item, we would want to try and get the same,
Hmm,
at least the same action that we got from the town board last time,
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
which was an acknowledgement.
Yeah.
An adoption would be better, but an acknowledgement is also fine.
So wait a minute, they only acknowledge if they didn't adopt it? Okay, so.
Well, it has recommendations, like lots of recommendations, and perhaps the town board wasn't prepared to.
They get
Oh.
the reason they did an acknowledgement instead of a full adoption is that they get people don't always understand, like, if they adopt a plan and the plan says in the future build a trail here, in the future consider setting this aside, all those things, people are like, well, you adopted it, you need to do it now. And that makes it really hard for them because they need it to be a path forward where they can chunk away at it. That's why they did an acknowledgement rather than an adoption.
So do they need us to then put a timeline on it? I mean, I think.
No, and different boards are different. I mean,
Okay.
it'd be better if we could get a full adoption, but I think the reason they have shied away from the full adoption before is that even if they're supportive of those recommendations and working towards them, they get rung through the fire for, only doing 1 of 10, so I think that they, at least last time, preferred the acknowledgement. They did do a ton of the recommendations in the last one, even though it was just an acknowledgement already.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if the full recommendation is not to be adopted, so all of the items, is the council's responsibility to do the priorities, or is the board's responsibility to choose which one to adopt?
I think that giving the town board a prioritized list is always helpful to them. It doesn't bind them into doing them in that priority because, say, defining the mowing areas on the disc golf course was number 7, but there was a tournament coming up and you got Ray's attention and he was able to do that, then you're certainly going to go after number 7 because it's there and you're ready. You don't have to do them in that order. Like sometimes a subdivision comes in that makes something possible, before you can get to number 2. But a priority is good because it does help focus energy because, the town board can't do all 10 in 1 year. Like, it just doesn't work like that. So if you're able to direct them for certain reasons on a priority list, that is helpful.
So will we be doing that to make a priority list?
Yeah, we can certainly do that. We haven't to date, but we certainly could do that.
The executive summary is kind of a priority list.
So I guess my question is this, is that, so it was acknowledged, and so they did a few of the things, but do we have a list of the things that didn't get done that we would like to see? And then how do we go about bringing it back to the attention to, say, a new board that is, hence being elected, or to just bring it back to their attention, I guess is my question, like, because.
The first one?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, right. Because the whole point of the Natural Resource Inventory is to bring it to the town's attention and to continue to bring it to their attention and make sure that, like, at the beginning of the year is, whose responsibility is it to say, hey, you acknowledge this, and, but if you're not committed to it, you're committed to it, but it's only if it comes up and it's convenient, or it's, I'm not really sure.
No,
I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say. I guess I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that-
I don't see it any different though, Ellen, than our initiatives.
Okay.
We have brought things to the attention of the town and they've taken action, Lomo, Quietness
Yeah.
and various aspects of it. So I don't see there's any reason why we couldn't pick a couple. and
I
take
can
them
make
on.
between now and next month, I can like take Jim's executive summary and make a prioritized list of, say, like these 5 items, like in consultation with Jim,
Okay.
and also dig up the phase 1 and say, oh, by the way, the CAC takes this opportunity to spotlight back on these items from 3 years ago.
Yeah. And
From
just,
the-
and acknowledge the things that have been done and acknowledge the things that haven't been done. Because if we're not bringing it to their attention, nobody is, I don't think,
Yeah.
right? Like,
There's actually no reason why we couldn't request making a presentation to the town board as well.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, or
that
just-
might actually be a good thing, particularly if we have successes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
do
mean,
have
like-
success.
Oh yeah, like Ashok and his wife, like, didn't just let the plan go on a shelf. Like, they worked really hard to start making the things happen in the first one.
There are trails now on
Yeah.
that. Sorry, too late. I can't get the name of that forest, but there are trails. There are new
Yeah.
trails.
So I guess that would be my point. And then I think maybe just as an aside for our committee is to say, okay, every January or February or whatever month, like when it's maybe a little slow, then we need to have a reminder in our queue to say, okay, we did these plans. Let's pull out what is, and reprioritize. Maybe this should be something that is on our radar.
Mhm.
Because we have these initiatives and these are things that, the other things, that are important to us. But the natural resource inventory was a lot of work, and there were goals that were set by it, but it also can get lost in all the paperwork.
That's fair. That's a very fair statement.
Yeah, we don't want it to get lost.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so.
I agree.
Well, I'll have like maybe 2 weeks before the next meeting. I'll send out a draft
Yeah,
thing to the group.
I'm just saying it, it's something that, we could do. I mean, I just think, I don't want it to.
Hey, that's a very fair point. I mean, we spend a lot of this time like getting money from the state and everything, and we definitely want to see the recommendations fulfilled, right? So,
Mhm.
what was that amazing park that we went to, the town park that was where the entrance was very hard to get to, right?
Oh
like
yeah,
so many people can benefit from you if only the entrance.
yeah. The
is well
Fieldstone
marked.
Estates Park, the
Yeah.
forest in there was just beautiful, but it was
Yeah.
so hard to get down.
Which one?
The Fieldstone Estates, the northern part of
Fieldstone,
Oh,
yeah.
it is.
Like it's incredible, like the amount of land there is and how nice the interior
I was
looks.
really
But
surprised by how
but outside there is a parking lot, but there is no signage, and you need a certain level of physical fitness to enter it.
Okay. So I feel
It
like
was really hard. Like you're walking on slippery black, like I don't know, landscaping paper, and then there's
Oh, yeah,
vines
yeah.
growing around it. So your feet get stuck in the vines, and it's a steep slope.
And then there's PI, lots of it.
that's poison ivy.
Poison ivy.
Oh yeah,
So that's the other thing. So like if you make these lists or whatever, then I mean, while pesticide outreach, I'm still doing at the farmers markets, but I'd be happy to do a side project and say, okay, this is the one we're going to pick for this year, and we're going to work to do whatever, make signage, make
Sure.
something like this.
stairs.
Yeah.
Create stairs. I mean, we could put together a small Boy Scout group, or a Girl Scout group maybe to help us or whatever it is. I think
So can we get some time with the town board on a future meeting to
Yeah,
make a
we
small
can ask.
presentation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point is after you get the grant,
Mm.
you do all the work, you make the presentation.
I actually don't think that's a problem at all.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think so either.
All right. Well, then for next month, let's have a prioritized list in addition to the big report, including items done and not done from last time. And let's get some time on the town board's calendar, and I'd be happy to put together a slideshow and make the presentation.
I see
Mm.
that as a good thing to do.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's a
And
great idea.
I'm happy to, if we target a project, I'm happy to do the same thing that we did to get the NRI going,
Mhm.
reach out to other community members, put a letter, into the Arnest, into Arnest or to the Gazette, saying that, thanking everybody who helped, with it. It's completed. These were the initiatives. This is what we're working towards. If you still are interested or would like to move forward with these projects, please contact us. And then, right? Because this is the same way the same people that possibly worked on the NRI might be interested in then expanding and doing some of the legwork on it. We'll see.
One of the things, though, we should talk about in any presentation is future work, because we're not done yet.
Oh, right.
So
I know.
I think we should.
We're getting pretty close to having inventoried most of the town or all of the town owned land, or really close to the town. We really need to start working on the private parcels
Yep.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which is a little trickier. Like we couldn't do it with the grant because you needed to have permission from the people ahead of time to actually get funded to go onto their land. So we may have to do some of that in a
If we
different
do
way.
a small grant, I think phase one was a couple pieces of property. We probably could get permission ahead of time.
Yeah, I think we should start like collecting those permission slips because that grant came up quick. Like Ashok and I put it together in like 2 weeks. There's just no way to get approvals to go on private property.
The person who replaced Kathy, she said that there isn't anything
This year, but
in
maybe next year.
2025, but they expect it in 2026.
Yeah.
Which aligns well with our timetable.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we need to do it immediately, but I think we need to have a forward-looking presentation just to basically say we're not done yet.
And in order to get permission to go on these private lands, like you kind of have to set it up because I think private property owners are like, why do you want to walk on my land? Are you going to try and take it away from me? Like, what's
Yeah.
the deal? So like you really have to like really
Yeah, we should probably
start
think
building
about,
partnerships.
how we're going to do that.
Yeah.
I agree.
And just-
Okay, let's move.
I have one
Yeah,
more
go ahead,
comment.
Joy.
So I have one suggestion, and then I want to run by you to see how you feel about this. So we, in Jim's report, we addressed the environmental protection aspect of the NRI, and then there's also the impact on the people from Niskayuna. There were many kids and adults from neighbors who attended the 3 nature walks, and many felt that they really enjoyed it, and I myself too really enjoyed, and I discovered new things and new places. I wonder whether it would be worth to reach out to whoever who attended to get some feedback, and that could be reinforced and then strengthen the case.
I think that would be good.
I think that's an excellent idea.
I didn't really, the number of people attended. I didn't really collect their emails or anything like that. But I have the contact information for the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts,
And they can reach out.
and so Joy, would you mind taking on this outreach part? I can get you started with some email addresses.
Sure. Yeah. If I get some contacts out, I can do some outreach and yeah.
Yeah, if you just get some quotations and their feedback and things like that.
Mm.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. Anything else on this topic?
We're gonna have a busy meeting next meeting.
I know, well, that's
Yeah,
what I
we are.
Well, I mean, I just think it doesn't necessarily, I'm just saying like,
Yeah.
just, I don't want things to just,
No,
die
it's
on,
good.
in the show,
No,
so,
and I think we're the ones that are going to carry the ball here.
right.
I mean,
so,
actually, you need to do the same thing with the greenhouse gas inventories.
Yeah.
Like, when I mean, the government action plan is essentially a prioritized list to start tackling how to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But yeah, I mean, you do the research, you do the inventory, you figure it out, and then you start working on what you found.
Okay,
All right. Ongoing initiatives. Number 3, land preservation tools. I had wanted to get this done, completed by this particular meeting, but I had other committee work that I had to do, and I did not fully complete this, but I will get it completed shortly and send it to Laura. Pesticide outreach. There's no-
no, other than it was moved in here.
It
for
did
the-
get moved.
So I think I feel like some of it's missing, but,
Oh.
I think there was some dried,
Hydrangeas?
hydrangeas.
They're not in there anymore?
No.
Um,
So I can just replace them, I suppose. I have more at my home.
do you?
Yeah, from this year. So
I
can
didn't
put them
notice
in
that.
there, and then,
I like those.
and then I can just, nothing more than, I'll just be going to the farmers markets in the spring, in the summer, yeah.
Because one
Okay.
thing we could ask about, Ellen, which I don't know the feasibility of it, is there's a TV right above that. Like, I mean, I
Oh.
wonder if we could like put CAC ads on the TV.
CN.
I mean, because right now it like scrolls through the solar energy that's made from the solar
Mhm.
panels in town hall, or it did.
Okay, so let's.
Maybe we could make that like a little CAC station. I don't know. Like, we have like flyers on composting and flyers on, I mean, I don't know. We could just ask.
Okay,
I didn't think about it
Who
until
do
just
I-
now. I don't know how that screen works,
so
but
supervisor controls the
Um,
TV, or?
I think we would just ask our IT guy, Josh, because I think it was originally hardwired into the solar panels, but I'm not even sure that that's like real time data anymore. We could ask. If it's really not working very much and it's right over our pesticide free outreach, like maybe we could take it over. I don't know if we can or not, but we could ask.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good
Not
idea.
necessarily take it over, but use it while we're there.
Oh, take it over. Yeah.
Utilize it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Lomo.
So, I
Yeah,
stated
we did.
everything about the
Okay,
Lomo.
I assume you did. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure there wasn't anything else.
So, I
you
mean,
wanted
I
to
do have dreams of contacting those big, gigantic industries on Balltown Road, but I don't have any contacts. And
Oh, like Momentive.
yes,
We may actually see them again, and we have been meeting with them. And every time we meet with them, we talk about those initiatives.
so I think I want to know the person, and I want to speak to the person and ask them what their borders look like, what is their green, what's their green initiative going forward.
I think that you'll see them within a month or two, probably.
They're coming before us.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I feel like the same thing. I mean, how are the things going with General Electric when because they came before us too, and we were supposed to connect.
We
with
need
them.
we need to follow up with them.
So who's we, and and do we have names, and do we have?
I think the
things?
town. should
We
follow up.
do follow up with them every time we have a meeting. either Clark or I, usually Clark, he's really good about it, mentions all of the different things that we've talked to him about.
And what
before.
happens?
They are aware. I think it's pretty slow moving, but the last time that we met with GE, they brought their sustainability manager with them. They have one, and he talked about the sustainability plan that you actually brought from GE and how they're trying to accomplish certain things. They're very energy focused. They're not as much LOMO focused, but they have a sustainability person who is working on that document that you've brought up before. So
Yeah, they do low mo,
Yeah.
themselves on their
sometimes
on a lot of their properties. So I guess maybe the thing to ask them is that have they thought about spreading seed, to make them pollinator?
mhm.
Have they considered putting up bat houses on their property, or working and putting up bird houses or something to attract and retain that kind of I think they can throw down seed and versus saying
I also think you're going to see GE within the next few months. They did a big public announcement. I don't know if you guys saw it. They're investing something like $40 million in the town or something like that.
well they're not in it's not for the town, it's their business.
Yeah. But it benefits the town greatly when anybody brings $40 million here.
Yes, I agree, but
Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's,
yeah, well,
one thing though, we probably should circle back on that list of the original memo we sent
Yeah, we can.
and just see where we stand on that.
I also think we should finish our sustainability checklist before these guys get here, probably.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what did you say?
our sustainability check.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, yeah.
So I
I think we were going to have a meeting on that just to add the checklist to the front
Mhm.
and double check it and then give it a go.
Yep.
It's really close because Simran did almost all of it.
We haven't had an opportunity, but I think shortly we will.
Well,
Here,
Simran's
Laura.
going to be my intern. She's going to come regularly again because she got accepted into all of the million Yale everything colleges that she applied to. So now she has a little bit of time before she actually goes to college. So I could have her check that too when she starts
Okay.
coming back.
Good. Okay, not Lomo, Quiet Niskayuna. What's the update on the town electric? Do we have any other updates?
Like 75% of that order got delivered, but we're struggling with Home Depot to get us. I think it's electric pole saws. It's not a terrible rush because they don't really use them in the winter.
Mhm.
But they're ordered.
Okay.
Ready to go.
So that grant that Vicki and you
Mhm.
worked on and got, when does that come out, or how that came through NYSERDA, right? Or was
Yeah, that is the Clean Energy Communities.
Okay.
Round 3, I believe it was.
okay,
It's closed now, but they may do a round 4.
okay,
I don't know how much of that was federal money though, so I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure about that.
okay. I guess I'm not tapped into it, the grant. Were you the one that found it, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like those because they reward you. We ran that community solar campaign
Right.
and enough residents signed up for community solar that they gave us a $5,000 rebate. And then we did a couple more things, the composting, I think, and other things, and they all counted and we got enough points to get the $10,000 grant.
Okay, and then we're now. So how do we find out? Right, because anybody that buys anyone that buys an EV car, Niskayuna gets credit from filing that, right? Like from doing the.
They do, and I believe that is still open, except that round may have closed, so I'd have to ask my CRPC representative how that works.
Okay.
That
I'm
may
just
be a
curious, 'cause
separate one.
I remember that being a.
Yeah, we started that one.
Yeah, and obviously she had the EV day. So,
Yep, and that went really well.
Yeah.
And our very own CAC member Chuck Petrowski bought an EV vehicle that counted. So
Very nice.
Okay, compost initiative.
Okay, so for composting, I'm working with Kayla to start one at St. Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
So we went and we did a waste analysis with the elementary school. There's a lovely teacher there who has built a garden, and she has a couple of raised beds, and she grows tons of vegetables with these kids and cooks them and everything like this. So they are viable for it. My goal is to complete the project by Earth Day. So Kayla was away for a conference, so she's back this week. So I haven't heard from her yet. I did send her an email, so
Mhm.
I'm sure she's got plenty of things to do. But it is on her radar to do, and so we're going to continue to do this. I didn't do another one in the town just because I didn't think the town was ready to
Yeah,
have another one.
That's fine.
But I do know that Schenectady Soil and Water they have put together a 5-year plan for this, to be able to compost at Hetchelltown Road. And occasionally I call them up and ask them where they are at. And so, yeah, so.
Do you have a sense of the people that are participating in the first phase of this?
Mm.
How's that?
I don't. I would have to ask her. I'll have to
Okay.
ask and see how many.
I didn't know if everybody was still
Well,
in it.
you know what?
Still in
It's
it, or
just because it is it's over by the pool, so it's not central. It's a little bit of a ways to go. Like it's only for a certain number of people in there. I keep needing to go and put up a couple of flyers at the apartment complex and
well, that's a good idea because it is close to
Mhm.
River's Ledge.
to River's Ledge, and I just yeah,
Mhm.
it's on the proverbial list of things to do.
Yeah, no,
So-
I'm not complaining. I really appreciate all you do.
So I am meeting tomorrow night with a group from St. Catherine that does earth projects at the church. So,
Mhm.
That's cool.
so hopefully they will be supportive of the program as well.
Wildlife corridors. We don't have it.
Yeah, Georgia let me know that she couldn't make the meeting.
Yep.
I got to meet with her on that. I did just want to say for the record, everybody I think here knows all the, but composting is a double greenhouse gas reducer because it takes stuff out of the waste stream, and when you put it back in the soil can absorb way more carbon. So it is exponentially composting is a big deal.
Yeah, we need to concentrate on it more, and we need to get, like, it's a public service announcement. I mean, our landfills in New York State are going to be full in 10 years, and that we have the amount of garbage that we have produced since 2000 is like more than we have produced since the beginning of time. Like, that's how much it's absolutely crazy. And that we are shipping the garbage from New York City to the Finger Lakes. So it is imperative. It is that we move on this. And if we are going to move at the speed at which government moves, then we needed to start 10 years ago in order to complete this task, because people are very complacent and believe that when you put your garbage at the end of your driveway, you believe that whatever you pay is significant enough and that it is no longer your responsibility, and that you have this sense of entitlement because you pay your bill, that your garbage should just disappear and that you own no responsibility over any of it. And while a lot of your vegetables and things are forced upon you to be purchased with plastic, that is not recyclable, and that you have to really start to push back in every community, because you cannot recycle that. It cannot be done. Nothing can be done with it. And if we don't do something about it, like, me actually speaking up about it, like, we're so far behind, we're almost first again. Like, that's how bad it is. And I don't think that, sometimes the 5-alarm fire is going off for people, but for most people, if you drive around Niskayuna and you look at their garbages, it is not.
Mhm.
And that, I think the problem is that people believe that if you put your garbage at the end of your driveway, it's no longer your responsibility because you have done what you are done. And just like, your, other bills that you pay, it is going to have to increase exponentially, or you are going to have an incinerator in your backyard
Mhm.
because those are the only options that you have. That there are no other options.
Yep.
Because you can only bury so much of this stuff. So
Let's keep working on composting.
you're composting, you can't compost enough. And you cannot, yeah. So that's
So it's interesting about that because we've been composting since the pandemic. And it's amazing how much you put in the composter and how it goes down and how easy it is once you get in the habit of composting. And if you throw all those compostables in the landfill, it's never going to get used before. Again, it's just going to take up space.
So when you put it into a landfill, it creates methane because it doesn't have the ability to break down.
So, it's a real waste, and it's very easy to do. I think we just got to get people convinced that it's worth doing. And once you get in the habit, it's not a big deal.
It's just, yeah.
So
I mean, in my mind, it's as
take over-
easy to take the compost out to the composter as it is to take it and throw it in the trash.
When we take over the TV screen, maybe one of the things we can rotate on there is our composting class. It probably can't have noise, but we could have the subtitles going on.
Yep.
Or just even, it's just like, yeah. Anyways,
No, that's a good point.
my public service announcement for today, just on the
Thank
amount
you.
of garbage, because I think that they go hand in hand. Like,
Yep.
and and the people with the land in New York are the ones that it's gonna come to our lower income communities again. So,
Mhm.
because that's where the land, that's where the big spaces are. So anyways, but I'm not,
Okay, so I'll have Simran work on the sustainability checklist, and then I
Yep.
think
Can I add one more comment?
Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead.
Yeah, I completely agree that when done properly, composting can offer a great negative positive environmental impact, especially in terms of reducing the methane and improving the soil. But if not done properly, that could add some negative impact, like producing methane rather than decomposing. And yeah, and also if it's not well controlled, there's a risk of the harmful chemicals like pesticides and or heavy metals that could end up in the compost, and then eventually the soil, and then impact the health. So I wonder if like the general public, if they are encouraged to do the compost, whether they are aware of some proper ways, or they just think it's all good without having to think about if not done properly, there could be negative impact.
so I would just say that anybody who has forayed down the path of composting always starts out on the conservative side, as opposed to the, everything goes in composting, and very, anybody that's composting, they're not putting any metals into their, and,
Right. Yeah. People wouldn't put the metal specifically, but then in the product, there could be remaining pesticides and metals.
So I don't think it's any worse than in Niskayuna, we collect everybody's cut greens.
Mm.
And they even, so my house that doesn't have, pesticides is collected with people that use any pesticide that is, you agreed to by the state of New York, and that all gets put in a pile here in the back on the town property. So it's all there, and that all gets leached into your groundwater and into the river and like whatever is around it. I mean, there's no stopping it. So, I mean, I'm not for, those pesticides being leached in, but I certainly don't think I would ever discourage anyone from trying to compost to stop it. So,
Mhm. Yeah, right.
yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
most people that are composting are usually not putting pesticides on their lawn, but even, if they've done any education themselves or through any of our programs, they know that you can't use anything that has those chemicals in it. So, but I agree that, we have a long way to go, but we sure do. It's better to start. So,
Mhm. Right, yeah, totally.
but yeah, thank you.
Okay, Laura, you're going to work on these sustainability checklists. So I think that brings us to our final topic, and that's adjournment. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I can second that.
Okay, anybody opposed to that? Anybody wants to sustain? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, Joy.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye-bye.